Pamela comes in, and she's attacking everybody. She turns around. And who do we see, Ray?
This reveal, man.
Go ahead, the reveal.
This reveal literally had me jumping out of my seat. I was like, oh my God. You see fucking... Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip-hop, try to run in our house, or knock your ass straight out the door. I'm the enemy's epitome, the fantasy, my tendency to mentally give your career the death penalty. I instantly advise you to match my intensity, try to fit my brain like Jackie Kennedy. I'm so tired of the why not side of putting MCs in a pine box. You motherfuckers couldn't even hit me in my blind. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Lost Agent TV, we are Reddit MC. And I'm Ray.
I'm Jones.
We're about to review my most anticipated Jason fan film of all time, Jason Rising.
I'm more anticipating Roseblood, but I'm cool with this one. I get what he was talking about.
We'll talk about it. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen it,
go watch it.
go watch it.
Literally starts off with the sheriff, a deputy, and two deputies. I want to say two deputies burying Jason Voorhees.
Evidently takes place right after part 4.
Yeah.
Even though it was a different location, but whatever. Because they mentioned Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah. The Jarvis kid.
Yeah.
They mentioned him as a child.
And then the sheriff is basically going to bury Jason.
I guess his hope is like, I'm going to bury him here and we'll be rid of him or whatever. And like they have him in this box. So it's basically a crate that looks like a coffin. And their plan is they're going to bury it, they're going to chain lock it, padlock it. Every precaution we could possibly take. We're going to do that, put this man in the ground, and we're done.
Why not burn them motherfucker?
I don't know. I probably would have done that. So they put him in the ground, and for whatever reason, the two deputies who have already put him in the ground don't want to go back and lock it.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's like, fuck it, I guess I'll do it. He gets down there, and then Jason busts through the thing, one arm, and he's like trying to grab the sheriff. He grabs the sheriff's leg, and then finally, like he shoots at Jason a little bit.
Yeah.
And he just yells at the deputies and starts throwing dirt on him. And they bury him before he's able to open it up.
He's buried alive at that point.
And he's buried alive. And then we shoot years into the future. Now that deputy, one of the deputies, is the sheriff. Mm-hmm. And his dad was the original sheriff who has passed away by this point. And he has a deputy, and I don't remember if it's the same woman. Cause I'm assuming it's a different woman because she didn't know the backstory. Because that threw me off at first. I thought it was the same woman.
I did too, but later on he explains it to her. So
her name is Eve, and apparently he didn't think she was cut out for the job, and finally she started taking it seriously. And it literally cuts to her, and she's reading Fangoria magazine. Dude speeds past her. She just looks at her like, and then just goes back to reading. I will say with this movie, there's a lot of like callbacks to other like Jason films. Yeah. At one point, Jason has a double-sided axe where he busts through the wall to grab people. Fangoria is a callback. There's a lot. They get a call because there's been a murder at this women's like correctional facility where like I guess it's a real small facility and like they do like basically like farm work. And there's like police. This is the weird part for this film.
I just thought about it. Yeah.
So like they're literally working out of a barn. There are cops inside of this barn working out of there with like all these different women. And all I can think of is maybe that this is just part of the setup. Like this is like a work release program for them or something. 3 women murdered this one dude. They cut his dick off, and there is a prosthetic dick in the film.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
I wouldn't have been that. I thought he was just murdered. Actually, at first I thought it was Jason, like because it looked like he didn't have any arms.
Yeah.
And then no, it's just dude's dick's on the ground, so they killed him and cut his dick off. I don't know which one they did first, but
hopefully killed him first.
One woman killed her wife. One woman was in a hit and run. I can't remember what the other one was, but she was supposed to be like the ringleader. And apparently she had her sister where she was supposed to meet up with her. And I guess she told the other 2 girls she's going to get them out with her. But she is like basically just ragging on these girls to her sister. Like, I am ready to ditch these hoes on, like, basically, I don't care.
The sheriff and the deputy meet up with the marshals.
Oh, I didn't even say the marshal. I forgot about them.
These convicted women are on the run now. Before we go any further, I want to say that one of my pet peeves of this film happens at this point. The fog usage.
There's a lot of fog usage.
Like, at nighttime, it was fine, but there's this point where they're in broad daylight. It's not even overcast, and there's just fog roaming around. Like, that doesn't happen.
There's no logical reason for the marshals to be there.
No.
Because you think that there's like a plot, like they're doing something. And at one point, like, they changed the story, like, other than to have these two dudes to be potential victims.
No. Convicted women, they go to, of course, what is boundaried by, like, a fence.
Like a pretty high fence that one of the women can't climb.
The way they portray it in the movies, like, this is a closed-off place, which is like they had, like, a lawsuit about.
Yep.
But I didn't know if that was, like, a throwback to, like...
I thought it was a call to the lawsuits. For whatever reason, the marshals don't know about it.
Yeah, just
like
whatever.
They've never heard about fucking Jason Voorhees.
They didn't hear about those fucking 40 murders that happened 20 years ago. One of my favorite parts of the film happens when the ringleader, I can't remember her name.
I don't know.
Her sister's supposed to come pick her up.
Yep.
And she goes to this gravesite. One of the very first kills you see is actually not by Jason Voorhees. I thought it was created.
Technically, that wasn't the first kill either because the girls killed
know.
Yeah.
On-screen kill. It's by none other than Pamela Voorhees.
And you might be thinking, like, how the hell does that happen?
Yeah.
A headless corpse of Pamela. And basically, the ringleader explained it into the sense that this place was cursed. Mm-hmm. And I guess that makes somewhat sense. So basically, like, they're cursed to this place. So technically, they could just never die. I mean, they literally cut off Pamela's head, and she's literally walking around
coming back.
So she kills the sister, who's supposed to come there to help them. I'm not a fan of the jump cut where they do the kills, but like the makeup effects that they do afterwards, I really like that. Basically, I guess Pamela's plan here is to free up Jason, which she does. And I don't know how this corpse has that much fucking strength to
I was about to say, she fucking handled that crate like a boss.
Like it was nothing. She just moved like it was nothing. And I get it, she's undead, but
goddamn.
Still very odd. He doesn't see a decapitated corpse. He sees his mom. Yeah. And she tells him to go out and kill everybody. Like, cool. So he goes, starts doing it. First person he gets to is the ringleader. Gets in the boat, and she is the fucking dumbest character in this. Like, oh my fucking God, it pissed me off so much. Gets in a boat, hits a rock, like a big rock in the middle of it. I don't know what was going on there. So then she starts trying to paddle away, and then there's a cord that's tied to this canoe that Jason's able to pull. When I saw him start pulling it, my first reaction, I literally was like I said it out loud. Get out of the fucking boat.
Yeah, something.
Just jump in the water. I mean, I get it. There's lore that Jason can move through the water and everything. And even in this film, he does the callback to the original where he jumps out the water and he pulls it, and that's cool. He wasn't that deep in the water.
No.
So you could have swam away and at least attempted something else. Panics, looks, he's not there. He jumps out the water, pulls her down. I thought he was going to drown her and kill her. Nope. She gets out of the water. She's crawling along the lake. He grabs a machete, stabs it through the back of her skull, through her mouth, and then pulls that bitch out. It was an alright kill. I just thought that bitch was so dumb.
Well, you saw in the Jason Rising trailer, when he's pulling the boat, I thought that was a real nice visual.
Yeah.
Also, she did kind of fight off Jason because once he knocks the mask off, once she knocks the mask off, he disappears.
That's why she sat back in the boat. But that's the only offense she got in the whole time.
Yeah, other than that, no, it was a game over.
The marshals had split up because, for whatever reason, Bear, who has the assault rifle, Jed, kind of acts like a pansy for a lot of it. Bear tells Jed, hey, look, make sure the sheriffs don't fuck up. Sheriff legit calls him on it. Like, he thought we couldn't handle this shit. Whatever. Bear, you don't see him for most of the film after this.
Bear's a tracker, too.
Yeah, and he's a tracker. And they show scenes of him tracking them. And he never catches any of them before they get killed. Spoiler, but we're already doing spoilers. So, then it shows the other two girls who had been hiding in the cabin. They think that old girl ran off on them, which she did. They decided to run. And another dumb moment was the girl that had murdered her wife was telling the other girl, look, we got to get out of here. She ditched us. We need to go now. Other girl says, all right, cool. dips. She's like, hold up, wait.
Yeah.
Why are you waiting? You told her let's go.
It was her idea.
It was your idea. She doesn't even attempt to run. Jason does this pretty nice kill I like. Stabs her in the head and then fucking throws a machete at her throat. Cuts her head off. Jason bag thing. Because I get it was a callback.
I thought it was cool though.
I thought it was funny.
Was it needed? Nah.
There was a scene where the ringleader of the girls had put on the bag to scare them, like it was Jason or whatever, and then Jason
Uses the bat.
uses the bag to scare her, but like it's obviously a giant man and not this woman. But yeah, it was funny. It was just odd.
Kathy, is that you? But the prisoner who got left behind, like she couldn't keep up with the other one, who fucking her. When she gets killed. The kill's nice, but what I like, it was a throwback we see a lot in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like, you don't see it throughout even modern day Friday films or even fan films. Jason hoists her up, like ties her to the tree, and is like a fucking display manner, like he used to use back in the day. You don't see that shit.
And he did it with the other girl too, because you find her first, and then that's when they start putting stuff together. Like Jed happens upon Jason's box, and he tells
The sheriff
tells him that he found the box. Sheriff puts it together, tells Eve, like, hey, look, yo, we did this with Jason, and it's him. It's got to be him. And I get, now that I'm thinking about it, he might not have been a part of it, because he was saying his dad did it, and he happens upon Bear first. And it's another callback scene. It's basically like part 8, fought on that rooftop, and everything.
Yeah.
It's basically a callback to that. I didn't like Bear got knocked down. Or
I
it
didn't
was
either.
like none of the fighting, because that was kind of cool. Like Jason threw a punch at him, and this man trying to throw punches and all that stuff. And it was supposed to be kind of like a ninja strike type thing, where he tried to run past him, he like cuts him in the
he
stomach,
fucking sidestepped and fucking got him.
and he does like a weird stab down. But
It's not that fatality though.
no, but like what was dope was he pulls them off because like spine and skull out. I don't see how he would have done it that easily, but I do like the effect.
I mean, they did the same thing in Vengeance.
Yeah.
But I did like the fight scene. I wish it would have went on longer. Bear was there for a moment, was fucking giving it to Jason.
Yeah, because he found Pamela, was shooting at her and all this other stuff.
But we even forgot, like, when Jason comes to life, we forgot. The
Oh, yeah.
fucking visuals, man.
Yeah.
The
like,
fucking worms. I think that was called back to 5.
I was just so into like trying to like tell the story. Like my favorite part of the movie legit was the part where like it shows his eye roll.
Yeah.
It was so amazing the way they did it. Like it looked so realistic and like everything. And if they were able to do that, I'm hoping they did. I'm pretty sure they did it practically.
The fight between Jason and Bear, I feel like it was cut short. They actually have a moment where fucking Jason and Bear circling each other like, let's fucking go, motherfucker. And I did like the fucking sidestep thing, but it was like a weird finish.
Yeah.
But I get it, like Jason, he's slick like that, but Bear doesn't make it.
Then Jed happens upon the body. Jason appears behind him. Classic Jason shit. He turns around, tries to shoot him. I did like that when he did that, Jason ripped his arm off.
Yeah.
I thought that looked dope. I do like the fact that he attempted to beat him to death with his own arm. There was also a scene where the sheriff told Eve, look, there's this flare. It lasts 10 minutes. If this goes out and I'm not back to you, you need to take it ATV and get the fuck out of here. Jason appears behind the sheriff. The sheriff's by himself. He attacks the sheriff. And I was like, oh, well, I guess the sheriff dies off scene. Nope. But there's no blood effects. I didn't know he got damaged anyway. He just stumbles to Eve like, run! And then he falls down like he had a fucking, he fainted. And then Jason and Eve go through this whole long run, which is cool. She goes back to to Jason's cabin, finds Pamela's head. That was pretty cool. She finds a way to hide under the floorboards, under some bodies. And long enough to try to call people.
Which was fucking dope.
And I found it weird that not one officer heard the call.
No, none of them.
Somebody responded, but it was not an officer. It basically cuts to the scene of this woman who is painting in this nice looking house. And I thought maybe this is like the woman that she had talked to earlier on Dispatch. And I was like, okay, so she's talking to her and they're not showing her face. So maybe it's a somebody from a previous film. I was trying to like limit down the numbers. Like, okay, can't be this person. It can be this person possibly.
It wasn't who I thought it was, but
it wasn't either. She hears it. She stops what she's doing, and she heads at the door. Jason smartly knows that she's down in the floorboard, starts stabbing at the floorboard. She sneaks out.
That visual was nice too. Like
it was very nice.
She's in a crawl space and looking up, and like Jason's looking down. He stabs through the fucking wood. She's got to escape like through the fucking cabinet hole. It was fucking nice.
She runs back to try to find the sheriff, trying to get him up, and then you hear a sound. And this is the part I actually really like because it's not something you would have thought of. Because a lot of pop culture, when they reference Jason, they always do the mask, but instead of a machete, they usually do a chainsaw. And I always thought like maybe they're just like combining both Leatherface and Jason. Jason comes out with a motherfucking chainsaw on this, and I thought that's what they were calling back. And I thought that was really dope.
It was dope.
He literally runs at these motherfuckers with a chainsaw, cuts off the sheriff's hand, like not like how most people do, like at the wrist, like halfway through the hand. Somehow Eve knocks the chainsaw out of Jason's hand, and then she stabs him in the stomach with it. And I thought for a second maybe he stabbed her too. With something.
He was gonna take her out with her.
Yeah. And it didn't happen. He just fell down. That happens there, and I'm thinking, okay, so this is probably the end. They're probably about to get rid of Jason and everything. Head back to this barn facility that they use, and there's 2 deputies in there, I guess. One of them's reading a Playboy and watching aerobics, which that was a callback to part 4.
Also, that was a callback to the video game because they was playing the fucking song that plays.
Yep. Eve and the sheriff show up. He's asking for painkillers. He's in a lot of fucking pain, and I get that. And this one dude is just like so fucking dumb because they also had cut to Pamela. And she found the shack.
She took her head back.
She took her head back. And that's not what I thought. I thought Jason came back. So the dumb sheriff who'd been reading the Playboy hears the chainsaw sound. He leans his head out the door looking. It's foggy as shit like you were talking about. They're like, close the door, step back in. Because they cut the power somehow.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, it's all good. He keeps standing up there, and then Pamela Voorhees just comes through there with a fucking chainsaw, murders him like it's nothing. Cuts the other guy's hand off. I don't remember if she killed him or not.
Pamela looks nice in this too, though.
Yeah, she did. I like the actor who played her as like young Pamela or whatever, like after Jason died originally. Pamela comes in and she's attacking everybody. She turns around. And who do we see, Ray?
This reveal, man.
Go ahead, the reveal.
This reveal literally had me jumping out of my seat. I was like, oh my God. You see fucking Alice. From the original. Now,
Ray watched this before I did. He asked me about this scene, and I gave him a response, and he did not like the response. My response was, and this is literally how I thought when I saw it in the film, because I noticed exactly who it was when it happened, especially because she cuts Pamela's head off again. Mm-hmm. And she says, didn't think I had to do that again. I was like, oh my God, it's Alice. And I was like, how the fuck is it Alice? Because she, like, in part 2, she dies at the very fucking beginning of part 2. And if 1, 2, 3, and 4 are canon, how the fuck does that make sense? But then you reminded me of the scene that happens after that. Mm-hmm. They kill Pamela again. Alice takes her head. And she takes it home with her to, I guess, to keep it as like
you forgot, Jason come back too.
And Jason came back. That's right, I forgot about Jason.
They have a fucking face-off. It didn't last long.
No.
They basically fucking charged each other. Alice is like, nah, fuck that. Stabs fucking Jason with a fucking machete. Mm-hmm. And then she has this ice pick, which just throw back to her death in part 2.
Yeah.
Stabs him in the fucking head.
So you should have stayed in the lake. It was dope.
It was dope.
And they found out who she was. So she took the head of Pamela, goes back to where she's at, gets a call on her phone that she does not answer, and it's from Jenny from part 2.
Jenny Fields, which is a doctor
and
now.
This is the only way that I can explain that how that happened was that was a dream. Because she had the dream at the end of 1. So maybe that's what it was. And Jenny referenced that and said something about, I hope this new medicine is helping with hallucinations.
I didn't understand why they put Alice in witness protection, though.
I guess maybe they thought like if they did that, Jason couldn't find her. But like if he's cursed or whatever, I really, really, really love Alice being in the film.
Oh, it was dope.
It just threw me off because until they brought the Jenny scene in,
it was like,
there's how the fuck is she there? And it blew. And then like when you mentioned that, it brought it back to me. It was like that's the only way that makes sense. Somehow Jenny started helping her, especially after they both went through the same situation. So like she just had an hallucination about Jason. Because that makes a lot more sense than Jason left the camp and went and tracked down Alice, no way of knowing where she was at,
Yeah.
and killing her. And I get they were trying to tie out loose ends of like, well, Alice can't do this film for whatever reason, so we have to kill her off. She can do a little bit of it, but she can't do the whole thing. I get that.
Who do you think it was before you saw Alice?
I thought it was going to either be Jenny or the girl from Part 3.
I thought it was going to be Trish, Tommy's sister.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Trish came to my mind, too.
Yeah.
That's the very first person I thought of when I saw her from behind. Like, when I saw her, like, painting and shit, like, oh, it might be Trish. It might be Jarvis. But then I was like, I don't know if they're going to bring her in, because if they do, they probably have to bring Jarvis in the future film. So I didn't think it was, and I started, like, going down the list, like, maybe it's Jenny. Maybe she's just older and she's ready to come back and help. And I can't remember the old girl's name from Part 3.
I mean, Alice is your original final girl.
It is.
Like, you don't get any more Friday the 13th
And
than that.
I understand you couldn't do a lot. Like, I wouldn't have made Alice look bad either. Like, overall, I do think it was a good film. There was a lot of plot holes, but that's just that stuff happens.
It's not without its flaws, for sure.
I don't like the jump cuts. I understand why they did them.
I don't know how Jason gets here, but the post-credit scenes, Jason coming up out of the water, all because they dumped his body in
the sheriff dumped his body and a mask on it, and it was like talking to his dad about all the other stuff.
So naturally, Jason comes up out of the water, puts his mask back on, he turns around, looks up on the hill, and we can only assume that it's Alice's house. He's going to go and get his fucking mom's head back. Cinematically, man, it's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The score was awesome.
I love the score.
The fucking...
God, the score was amazing.
They doing this is
perfect. It was so good.
But overall, this is, I think it's 57 minutes long. I mean,
it's worth the watch, honestly.
There are things we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
There's very good things we didn't talk about, and there's bad things we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's up to you. I think it lives up to my expectations. First thought, I would say no, but once the Alice reveal came in, I was like...
That probably stood it for me.
Like, this is the greatest fan film I've seen in a long time.
That was it.
And that's not including, like, Never Hike Alone and shit like that. They're still doing their own thing. Fucking Alice, man.
It's beautiful. There's so many callbacks. We didn't even name a lot of them. A lot to each film.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Jason. Like, the Jason was just like Part 4 Jason. Like, the body style, the way he walked, the way he moved, the way he attacked. It was very reminiscent of Part 4.
Yeah. The style of the mask, and only in the sense of, like, the shape of it on the outside.
Well, one thing I didn't like about the mask, they got the decal, like, penciled in.
I did like how, because, like, in Part 4, he gets stabbed in the hand and by... They cut his hand. Like, Tina cut his hand. And he has a wound on that hand whenever he was trying to break down the door to get to where Eve was.
So I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. Like,
attention to detail.
Like, and I'm sure, like, I guess the thing is, like, maybe it healed because like, they cut into the hand. I do think it's worth a watch if you're a fan of Friday the 13th. I think you should watch it. If you, like I said, or at least recommend it to somebody. I'm hoping you didn't watch this or not watch the film, and you were just hoping we'd tell you the whole story. You'd be like, yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah.
It's a good film. If I had to rate it, I'm leaving it a 7.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm cool with 8. I understand that. If we're ranking it among fan films, I'd definitely give it an 8. We're ranking it around like Jason, like Friday the 13th films in total, I'll give it a 7. Let us know what y'all thought if y'all watched it. Tell us what your favorite kill from it was. If there's any other things you think we didn't mention or you think maybe we missed, or if you want to talk about it in the comments, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. Like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff we got to tell you to do. Really thank y'all for watching this. Until next time, y'all. Deuces.
Adios.
What a slam. Bring this back to you, grouches. My crew just might roll on you like